welcome to another episode of the Classic Chloe Show. Where we talk about music and its effects on every aspect of our daily lives. I'm your host, Chloe Castillo, and I have another fantastic guest for you today. Comedian Jason Scoop, best known for his impression of President Trump, has been making headlines recently for his videos calling out Hollywood celebrities face to face on the street. It's just awesome. Let's play one of these videos with Alec Baldwin.
Alec, it's your favorite president. Look, Alec, I will offer you a total pardon, because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman if you kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood, you can call it first degree, you can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me, and that's okay.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
No, you realize, by the
Whoa.
way. No, look at me. I want you to look at me.
Sure.
You got a camera on me here?
The ring, no, it's the ring.
But you realize my kids live in this building, right? But I want you to know something.
We love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
So be real careful.
Okay.
If this camera wasn't here, I'd snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right there. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, class act. Believe me. Believe me.
I want you to get out of here.
Okay.
No, I want you to get out of here.
Oh, he's yelling at me. I'm a citizen of this. I was born and raised in New York City. I love you, Alec. Alec, look, Alec, you don't want to attack your favorite president, Alec. Look, I love you. I love you, Alec. He's got more balls than De Niro, that I can tell you. De Niro ran away. Alec confronted. That's good. He's strong, but also he's weak because he murdered a woman. So that's okay, right? Look at this guy.
Jason, welcome to the show. You've got guts.
Yeah, that was a crazy encounter there. And I've spoken about this quite a few times. You'll notice he was ignoring, he was doing the celebrity thing, just ignoring until I said, "That woman you murdered is looking down, Alec, and she's proud of me for confronting." And then that's when he turned and you could see that he just like kind of snapped. And then he came up to me and that's when he threatened to snap my neck and basically kill me. And the funny thing is, he goes, "What's that? A camera?" But it was actually my microphone. I had a second microphone on my finger, like literally just attached to my finger. That's when I was like, "Kiss the ring," and the ring was the microphone. So then when he leans in and he's like, "Oh, I'd snap your effing neck," I think he thought that he was whispering, but he didn't realize that it was a microphone like 6 inches from his mouth. And so that was like the clearest audio I possibly could have gotten of him threatening to kill me. Yeah, that was I'm proud of that one. Proud of that one.
Well, that's always what you want to do when you're confronted with murder, right? Threaten to kill the person confronting you. That'll always work
Exactly.
for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Clearly shows he
these
has
celebrities
poor
are
impulse
insane.
control.
No, totally. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I love that you keep doing this. So you did it with De Niro too, Whoopi Goldberg. You've had a few great moments on camera with these celebrities who have none of them been very nice to President Trump, none of them been too great to the American people, actually. So I think, kudos to you for doing that. I think it's awesome. So I want to get some of your thoughts on President Trump's playlist, kind of changing, moods here a little bit, and then we'll go back to Hollywood in just a second. So President Trump has some awesome music. I know that you've talked about how great the 80s music was. There's a lot of great hits. It's just classics from the 80s, and we don't have a lot of those classics coming out anymore, in my opinion, at least. We have some. There's some good modern stuff out there. I feel like there's just something missing, though. And so let's look at what the Hollywood celebrities these days are putting out there, the ones from the 80s that are still out there, still performing for some reason now. Let's see what they've done with their careers and, just get your thoughts on that. So let's play this clip of Madonna at Coachella. Coachella, I know most of you people know what this is this huge music festival. It's actually free to ages, I think, five and under, which is kind of disturbing, considering the topics that are, often there. But with that said, let's just get your thoughts on Madonna. I think it's disturbing. Let's get Jason's thoughts on this clip.
Me. Madonna.
What is that?
I hadn't seen that before. So that was she made out with Drake?
On stage at Coachella just happened.
Wow. How old is she now?
Too old for that, that's for sure. Too old to be on stage in
Yeah.
her underwear, that's also for sure.
Well, if I could react as your favorite president, I would say you look at Madonna. She used to be great, right? It's sort of like food that expires. You could call it past the expiration date. You can call it whatever you want, but I think she's a little old to be doing antics like that. And then you look at Drake. It's also a sad case because he sat there and he has to be thinking, what am I doing making out with this woman who's got to be in her mid 90s at this point? It's a horror. It's a horror. These are sick people, Chloe. These are sick people. And you know it. You know it better than anyone. That I can tell you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it's very well said. She's well past her expiration date. Apparently, she's in her 60s. It's not looking good. And if I remember, I'm not sure what she's doing with Drake. 'Cause I think it was a couple years back. She had this video on Instagram where she said, if I throw my underwear across the room and they don't hit the trash can, then I must be a lesbian. And she threw her underwear and she missed the trash can. So apparently, she's a lesbian making out with Drake at about 66 years old at a show that is okay for 5 years old and under for free to attend. I'm not real sure where America's culture's headed. I'm not liking it for one. I don't know, Jason. Do you think this is disturbing for the youth of America?
I think it's definitely disturbing, and you could tell she's just looking for attention in any way possible. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, my last record didn't sell. I'm a lesbian now. It's like, are you really though? Um, it's like a lot of these kids, they're being sort of indoctrinated in school and made to believe, oh, I think I might be this, I think I might be that. Um, but it's like, do you really feel that way, or is it being pushed on you? And then you see, big stars like this, like Madonna, just throwing around, a new sexual orientation because she's born. Oh yeah, now I'm a lesbian, and then a little girl sees that, and she's like, maybe I'm a lesbian too. So yeah, I definitely think it is. I just think it's fake at the end of the day. She's faking, you know? And I think, fake is bad, truth is good. And yeah,
Absolutely. Fake is bad and truth is good. I think that has to do with just good and evil in general, honestly. The truth
100%.
is, God is the truth and Satan is
Mm-hmm.
confusion and disarray. And so I
And
think when
lies,
it comes
basically.
down to that, yeah, exactly, and lies and deception. So,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of the devil, that comes up a lot in the show when we talk about the music industry, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lady Gaga had performed at Coachella too a few days ago. I don't have the clip, maybe I'll insert it later before the show goes out. But I don't know sure if you saw her performance. It's really disturbing as well. She did this whole like ritualistic kind of performance. She performed the song from the whole Wednesday Addams thing,
Mm-hmm.
like Bloody Mary, whatever it's called. Then she performed her new song Abracadabra.
On top of my religions, you and mom just comes to kill the king upon his throne. I'm ready for their stones. I'll dance, dance, dance with my hands above my head, like Jesus said. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance with my hands above my head, hands together, forgive him before he's dead, because I won't cry for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very interesting when you look at the imagery. It's all so centered around Satan and the devil and evil. It's and people will look at me and say, "Well, Chloe, it's just entertainment. It's just music. It's just, it's just Hollywood. It's not real." And it's like, but at some point that is real. At some point, I don't think Satan's going to walk up out of hell with a little red tail and a pitchfork and say, "I'm Satan." It's going to be in the form of this kind of art and this kind of, behavior. And so when you look at Hollywood, like you said, they're looking for attention constantly, and they're peddling lies and they're peddling deception to people of
Mm-hmm.
all ages, especially I'd say the youth is their main target.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at this kind of stuff, to me it's highly concerning. And Lady Gaga, I know, isn't exactly like the artist of the youth these days, but she has
Mm-hmm.
definitely had her day. She's definitely still very relevant, and the artists that are now up and coming now, I say up and coming, who are already very successful, like Sam Smith, had his whole Satan show with I think like the Grammys or something a few years back. They're all following the same pattern of at some point in their careers they have to have this little tribute to Satan sort of show. And so I want to get your thoughts. Do you think this is because they are outwardly selling their souls and when once at a certain point in Hollywood? Do you think it's just because they have lost anything interesting about themselves as artists? Do you think that they're actually good artists and just, think it's fun? I mean, what's going on here? Why is there this consistent pattern?
So, I have a few opinions on this. I think that a lot of these artists are just kind of dumb and going along with what their handlers push on them. And we've all heard conspiracy theories about the music industry and all sorts of, devil worshiping and stuff. And I've wondered, are these artists themselves, do they really believe this, or are they just doing the bidding of their overlords? I don't know, but either way, it's an extreme net negative. And you also hear the term soul selling. You might not literally sign a contract with the devil, and you hear the blood and all that stuff and rituals, and I don't know if those rituals are real or not. I've never personally seen them. I can only speculate, but I do believe that a lot of the content of the music, whether it's overtly like Sam Smith literally dressed like Satan on stage, or it's just singing about drugs, violence, extreme sexual lyrics like Cardi B and whatnot. I think all those themes have to do with a sort of obviously it's low vibrational content. It's not really uplifting. And once again, when it comes to music, is consumed mostly by youth. Little kids all the way from preschool up to K through 12. It's Yeah, it is overall very destructive for the entire culture and society. But I don't know. I don't specifically know if Lady Gaga literally worships the devil or Sam Smith literally worships the devil, or if they're just doing the bidding of whoever their handlers are. But I definitely believe there is possibly an element of the occult in the music industry, but whether or not the artists themselves are consciously aware of that, I have no idea. Like I said, I don't think a lot of these people are that bright.
Well, I mean, something has to be going on upstairs. There's something's missing. A couple screws loose. Some marbles are rolling around. I mean, this is not normal behavior. It's become more
No, it's
normalized,
not.
unfortunately. But I agree. I agree with you though that something's definitely going on. I don't know personally what it is. I
Hmm.
do think that
Hmm.
it's like you said though, it's detrimental to our culture and then of course to our nation because that affects our political landscape and what people are then voting for. If they're voting for the values that Cardi B might instill in the young women of America, kill your kids, just have sex wherever you want to, doesn't really matter. They're
Hmm.
going to want to vote
Yeah.
for Kamala, who's going to, protect those kind of rights, as they call it. So, I mean, it definitely has a domino effect there. And I think you're absolutely correct in your assessment of that, whether it be actual signing, whether it be just they're actually really that stupid. I don't know. So, let's do a quick ad break here, and then we're going to come back with more from Jason Scoop, maybe more from President Trump, talk about his playlist, talk about how are we going to get music to be great again. So, ad break and more from Jason.
I couldn't give anything a higher endorsement.
I would be remiss had I not include Cardio Miracle on my very short list of secrets.
It's the real deal. It's a real product. It's not another supplement.
I'm operating about 6 to 8 hours, and I've noticed that being on this Cardio Miracle has made a huge difference.
Since I started taking Cardio Miracle, about 8 months into it, the benefits have been fantastic.
If I get hungry, then I just have a Cardio Miracle.
Not only is it safe, but it's necessary to take Cardio Miracle to stay well.
This let me sleep. It's showing up more energy, more get up and go. And it's all because of what this company does.
For me as a doctor, Cardio Miracle is a staple.
Cardio Miracle to me is hope in a glass.
To try Cardio Miracle for yourself and get a special fan discount, go to the host page right now and click the link for Cardio Miracle.
Think you need a new roof? Think again. Roofs aren't made like they used to be. They have significantly less asphalt in them than they did 20 years ago. That's causing roofs to wear out way before they should. RoofMax can extend the life of your roof for at least 5 and up to 15 years, guaranteed. 9 out of 10 roofs qualify. Restore your roof at a fraction of the cost for a new roof. Mention Patriot TV and get their $859 roof tune-up for free. Call 1-800-ROOFMAX.
Attention American business owners, big or small, your company deserves to be seen and Patriot TV is here to help. We're proud to support American-owned businesses by offering a free listing of your company on Patriot TV Store. That's right, no cost, just visibility to millions of loyal viewers who want to support American businesses like yours. Whether you run a small business or a nationwide company, this is your chance to reach a dedicated audience on Patriot TV Store on major smart TVs like Samsung, LG, Sony, TCL, Roku, also on Apple, Android, Amazon, Fire Stick, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Truth Social, X, and of course, the Patriot TV Store app and website. It's our way of giving back to the community and helping American businesses thrive. Let's work together to build a stronger America. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Get your free business listing today. Contact us at info@patriot.tv.
What do a neurosurgeon, a country artist, and a television and radio host have in common? They all saw the writing on the wall. Big banks sharing your financial information with big government. Join them as owners in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank that protects your privacy, security, and liberty. Invest today at own.oldglorybank.com.
Looking to give your wardrobe an upgrade? Well, look no further. Here at God Country & Kin, we've got you covered from head to toe, from shoulder to shoulder, and everything in between. Introducing our brand new Patriotic Collection, designed to display your patriotic spirit with a stylish look that's sure to turn heads. And the best part is, you don't have to break the bank to be your best you. Why wait? Visit us online or in-store today and elevate your style with God Country & Kin. God Country & Kin, where patriotism meets style. Shop now. Visit the Patriot TV Store and look for the God Country Kin banner to find the perfect outfit, shirt, accessory, or maybe a great hat.
You can totally see yourself rocking this hat, I know you can. And check out all the great stuff we've got to show your patriotism at patriot.tv.store. Click that link above that says store and join me there at the Patriot TV Store.
To have you back on the show, Jason. Let's see if we can get an appearance from our favorite President Trump, to talk about his playlist. You know, Mr. President, you have some fantastic songs on that playlist. I've been to Mar-a-Lago a few times and heard your speakers going, and I've got to say, as a musician myself, it is just the best place ever. I just did a cover of YMCA on piano. I'm not sure I can do the Village People justice, but, you know, you just got the best music. What makes up this playlist in your mind? Where does all this great taste in music come from?
Well, it's the classics, right? It's what we grew up on. It was what was, you know, you look at the 70s, YMCA, the Village People, right? You could say I brought it back in a major way because there was a few years there where it sort of died out a little bit. But I brought it back, and now they're telling me it's bigger than ever in terms of streaming. You look at sales online on Apple Music and whatnot. But really, the classics: Elton John, Madonna before she lost it. Michael, you look at that glove and the moonwalk, it was so classic, it was so great. And you look at even some Broadway, some musicals. I like Phantom of the Opera, very strongly. I did Gutfeld, and Gutfeld was interviewing me, and he said, my wife dragged me to Broadway. I hate it. And I said, I kind of like it, and I really do. I like the classical tunes. You look at in terms of West Side Story, Fiddler on the Roof. And look, I know roofs. He just did Roof Ed, and that's a great company. Okay, I'm a builder. I know roofs. That's a great ad. Believe me, that's a great company. You need to look into it. To the audience out there. But look, music, I know music, okay? I know music perhaps better than anyone, except maybe you, Chloe.
Well,
And my iconic dance,
well,
of course.
Oh, it's gotta be there. I got Frank Sinatra behind me somewhere. Which way? This way, somewhere up
Oh
there.
yeah,
Frank, I know you're a big fan of Frank. Frank's a fantastic
that's
one.
right.
Elvis
It was
Presley,
great.
another one of the greats. Yeah, just so many good musicians out there. So you mentioned Madonna was a great one before she went off the deep end, went crazy. So what can we do to make music great again in America? What do you think needs to happen to bring back or to create rather the golden age of art and culture in America?
Well, that's tough to say. I know one of your themes is art and culture. I think really the culture needs to shift, but good news, I think culture is shifting a little bit. I think you look at SNL, they've cooled down a little bit. They've realized what we're doing, what we're making, the recipe we're making, people aren't buying. So they've cooled down a little bit. I think you're going to see comedies coming back, right? Back in the day, early 2000s, they had so many great comedies. You look at The Hangover, you look at Zoolander, Derek Zoolander, right? Male model of the. I was in that, by the way, with Melania, very strongly. It's what made it so good. And I think my election, my re-election, if you look at it, I think people are finally calming down a little bit, especially in Hollywood. That I can tell you.
Absolutely. Well, I sure hope to see it. I sure hope to see a renaissance in art and culture, like you just said. Comedy is coming back too. We've got a great comedian here on the show right now, Jason Scoop, and I think he's making a great comeback in comedy. I think that it's great to see also Americans really resonating with the fact that Hollywood has gone off the deep end. I think we're getting fed up with all these award shows where these weird, where it be some kind of odd ritualistic looking thing, or whether it just be honestly very disturbing to see a 60-something-year-old woman kissing some, I don't know how old Drake is, someone way too young for her and who shouldn't be, engaging that on stage, honestly. It's just disturbing. It's weird. It's awkward. It's something that is just, I don't see how that's benefiting our culture or our nation or our kids or anything at all. So I think it's very refreshing to see comedy making a comeback. You mentioned SNL has been getting a little funnier, I gotta say, and they used to be hilarious. And I think it's really nice to see that Americans seem to be hungry for good content, good entertainment. I think Jason's doing that. I think there's a lot of fantastic musicians on the conservative right who are starting to really push for this and making a change there. So, Jason, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Can you please just tell my audience where they can find you?
Sure, you guys can find me at Jason Scoop on Instagram and X at Jason Scoop, and then at Jason Scoop Comedy on both YouTube and TikTok. And yeah, I'm always putting out content. I'm always getting into trouble. I'm looking for new celebrities to go after. I'm trying to find Joy Behar. And yeah, Joy Behar and Jimmy Kimmel is kind of those two, among others, are at the very top of my list, especially Jimmy Kimmel. And really all the women of The View. I want to get that lunatic Sonny Hostin. I just want to confront them all right there on the street, just like with Alec Baldwin. And yeah, I love the magic of the moment, you know? Um, especially with the Baldwin video. I didn't know what to expect. I just looked up his address is publicly available. It was still pretty cold out in New York when I recorded that. I stood out there with my cameraman on the street for about 3.5 hours. I was getting ready to pack it up because I was starting to lose feeling in my toes. And then boom, who do I see right in front of my face? Alec Baldwin, and the rest is history. So yeah, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. Seem to be making a little difference in the world. I know this is a little long-winded here, but one of the things I'm most proud of is last year during the election and the year before, I had people come up to me on the street. I actually have footage of this saying I was a huge lib. I hated Trump. Your videos made me support and like Donald Trump. And now I'm just not even a Democrat anymore. They're like, I'm a Republican now. And to hear that, honestly, there's like no greater feeling. That felt even better than getting up and doing stand up. It's just like to know that I'm making some sort of minuscule impact on the actual world. It's incredible.
Well, I want to kind of touch on that before I let you go here, Jason, because you just said making that super small impact. It is the best feeling in the world to actually know that someone who was a raging leftist at some point said, you know what, this
Yeah.
guy's not so bad. I want to support
Yeah.
President Trump. I think he's actually doing great things for our country. And I think that what you mentioned there, you didn't do it through politics. You did it through comedy, and you
Yeah.
made you made people laugh. You made them. It lightened the scene, lightened the atmosphere of what they were looking into. Instead of saying this guy on TV who the mainstream media makes out to be this awful racist, whatever, blah, blah, blah they come up with. Instead, they had you on the street in a, wig, if I may say, and pointing out what the fun aspect of our president. And I think it kind
Mhm.
of it makes people there, it breaks down their barrier, and it makes them say, you
Yeah.
know what, maybe this isn't so bad. The guy that he's impersonating, he is doing a great job impersonating him, so he's not that far from our actual president's personality,
Mhm. Yeah.
and there's something about this guy that I really like, and I think that's beautiful. I think it's a fantastic thing. As artists, comedians, musicians, whatever, we're all artists, and I think that as artists in some way, entertainers rather, you know to be able to make that difference through our art, without, whether it be politically charged or whether it be just culturally speaking, cultural issues, whatever it may be. The left has been doing it for decades. They've been talking about different issues, and edgy kind of things, and getting into
Mhm.
their content slowly but surely. And
Mhm.
they've really, I
Mhm.
believe, shifted the culture a massive amount in that time.
Mhm.
They've been, just like you said, carefully, one person at a time, getting people to actually change their minds. So we can do it the other way around, and actually make that
Yeah.
difference for our values and for
Yeah.
how we want to see America, portrayed, and how we want to see America become, and just be great again, honestly. Like President Trump
Yeah.
says, we want America to be great again. And I think that as
Yeah.
artists, if we can make a little bit of a change by doing that through our art, that is the most fantastic thing ever. So Jason, thank you again for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. I just want to hear from you also, as yourself. What do you hope to see for entertainment in general, besides President Trump's input? What do you hope to see in America?
I just hope, James Woods, he's a Hollywood actor, he's a conservative guy. He had this great quote. He goes, I just want to make America America again. And that really resonated with me. I was watching a movie last night, Me, Myself, and Irene, which was released in the year 2000 with Jim Carrey. And obviously, we all know he really went off the deep end with the TDS. But this is 2 decades before he had TDS, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want great comedies like that to come out again. Like I said, I just want to bring sanity back, and I think sanity really is slowly creeping in bit by bit. I could see it. I could see it on Saturday Night Live. I could see it with certain comedic choices when I watch TV shows on HBO or whatever. And I think, if you're paying attention, we could all see little by little just sanity coming back. I think it's literally just sanity. I just want to bring back sanity. And like James Wood said, make America just America again, the America we grew up in. I was born 91, you know, I graduated high school 2009. I just want to bring that portion of what sanity was and what life was and what being an American meant in that era from 91 to '09. Yeah.
There was normalcy, it was common sense. People weren't out of their mind, literally.
Yeah.
So,
Literally.
Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show. Let's make America America again. I think that's a pretty common goal we should all have here. We should all be able to agree that America should be America again. So, great to
Yes.
have you on, Jason. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks
me,
so much.
and hope to see you very soon. Maybe on
Yeah.
stage somewhere, maybe with the president.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching that episode. Please subscribe to the Classically Chloe show on Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. Please also follow me on Instagram at classically_Chloe. Good God, let's do it again. Okay, let's slow down. I'm doing the cattle rattle thing again here. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please subscribe to the Classically Chloe show on Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. Please also follow me on Instagram at classically_Chloe and Classically Chloe on all other platforms. See you next week. God bless.